what I understood better than the last my other car that I lost from a friend driving. This I understood. It's not Jim's fault. Not saying it was my other friend's fault, but I'm still wondering what the heck happened. Let's put it that way.
I shouldn't ask any questions.
Hey, you can ask me.
What kind of car was it?
It was a Aston Martin Vanquish manual. You know,
Okay.
one of the manual transmission ones. And I had the car. I had the car for over a year. And I wasn't driving it much. And at the time, I was living in L.A. My buddy flies in for New York, who's a big car guy. And he's, hey, can I stay with you? No problem. Stay with me. Can you have any car I can possibly use? I said, yeah, I haven't been driving the Aston. Take it and give it some exercise. Use it. Well, first few days, everything is great. I wake up in the morning. How you doing? Good morning. Hey, good morning. Then about the third or fourth day, I said, hey, good morning. He goes, good news or bad news? I said, good news or bad news? This should be good morning.
Yeah, right.
I said, what? He goes, your car. I said, somebody stole my car? He goes, no, it burnt to the ground. I said, well, stop messing around. He pulls out pictures of himself standing in front of the car. The hood is up, and they have those nostrils in the hood of the Aston.
Yep.
And and I look like he's on a rap album cover. Like he's posing. He's posing. And I'm like, you're posing while my car blows up trying to look cool.
So was he actually on fire when he was in front of it?
On fire. Flames out the hood like it was in Hollywood. It was in Hollywood.
Do we have the picture of that to put on here?
Well, you know what? I'll get you the picture to put on there.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I'll find the pictures. I'll send them to you. It was unbelievable. And so he said he put gas in it, left the gas station, and then something just. Oof. But the insurance came and looked at it. Aston Martin came and looked at it. A freak thing. They said that happened. So I don't know. That was a lot different.
And you enjoyed that car? You liked that car?
I enjoyed the car. It was I had two. I had a regular Vanquish and I had a Vanquish S with the paddle shifts. Cool for a minute.
Yeah.
But boring.
Yeah, no doubt. And the older style
In
ones,
the older style. Yeah, and it's like
clanky.
it's very clanky. It's not very crisp. But then once I got in stick, I love manual.
Sure.
Because I want to control the car. I want to connect with the car.
Yeah.
Automatic, very few cars that I feel you can just put it in drive and go that I feel, okay, this is.
If you're going around the track, the fastest way around is paddles, but to
Yeah.
have fun and engage, and especially these roads, even where you live, it's like, you're not driving 180 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But you can have fun in a car. That's a stick at 80 or 90, right?
Yeah,
You can enjoy it.
What's that thing? It's fun, more fun to go fast on a slow car.
true.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
which is so true. And so I've always been in the manual. So I like that car in the manual. I'm not in love with it. I love the looks. I love the sound. I love all that. But in the paddle, I don't love the driving.
You have the one in the paddle still?
I don't have the anymore. I have a new one in the stick though.
Gotcha. So what else is in your collection?
All right, how much time we got?
Well, pick your favorites. I mean,
My favorite. Okay, I was thinking about this the other day because at one point I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to trim down here.
It's not easy.
So it's not easy, and that's been the problem because I look at a car and I say I want to get rid of it. Let me drive it one more time.
It's always a great idea until you start picking them out. Right?
Yeah.
And then you pick it out. It's like, nah, not that one.
And I found you cannot share with your friends what you're thinking about getting rid of.
That's right. No way.
Because they'll go, oh, are you gonna get rid of that?
Are you crazy?
So my favorites, if my number one car that I love to drive, I mean, I love my Carrera GT. It's just so much fun. Like I love the Carrera GT. I have the Ford GTX1, which is the Ford GT. They only made like 30 of them that are convertible, top off.
The original, the 05?
Yeah, 04, 05, yeah.
Yeah.
I had the new one. I had the 17 Ford GT, but after 2 years, I didn't drive it much. I look at it as a beautiful sculpture. It's a great car, but for me, it wasn't the most comfortable. Like I didn't look at it and yearn to drive it.
Right.
But I sold that. I bought the Ford GTX1, which I love. Can drive that car every day. The SLR. I love my SLR Roadster. SL Black Series. SLS Black Series.
So you like Mercedes?
I like Mercedes.
Yeah.
I love everything. I have everything. But these are the more modern cars. Like I have the GT2 RS, which all those are the modern. On the other side, I love my Daytona. Ferrari Daytona's in my top 2 to 3 to drive.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just fun.
Not
It's
speeding, just kind of chilling and driving. Or
I drive it.
You
man.
get on it?
Yeah, I get on it.
And how's that? How is it if you're getting a little twisties going on? Is it stable?
It rocks. It's
Yeah.
71. It's the year I was born. So
Test you a little bit.
That car and I are very similar. Your Teslas will be swaying all over the place.
I got you.
You're both gonna be a little top heavy at times, you know. But I love the Daytona. One of my favorite cars to drive. What else? You know what? LM002.
Yeah.
That truck is so much fun to drive. Once you get it up to speed, the RPMs are up. V12, 5-speed truck.
Explain to people what that is.
The LM002 is the first, really, and I consider the only Lamborghini truck. The one they make now is no different than a Volkswagen truck or Bentley truck. All of them kind of look the same to me. But this is truly a man's man of a truck. You got to have a strong left leg.
What does it weigh?
I had about 5, 6, 7,000 pounds. It's heavy.
Yeah,
it's a monster. It's an absolute monster.
And it's a V12.
V12, 5-speed, 4-bucket seats, huge tires on it that cost like $10,000 a set.
Wow. The rubber. Just for the rubber.
Just for the rubber. It's ridiculous. Burns fuel. It's one of those cars. If you got to ask how much fuel it burns, mile per gallon, you just shouldn't have it. So
it's like having a boat.
It's like having a boat.
Yeah.
But that truck handles well. Like, I'm surprised at how well it handles because the big tire, it's squatty, it's low. And it's a lot of fun to drive.
You take that out with people in the back, or you kind of do it by yourself?
4 people. Yeah, 4 people. And then in the back, it has just like a back with a tonneau cover. You can take that out, and if you ride along the beach, people can sit back there too. It's really a cool truck.
So that's not like something that sits in your place. You actually enjoy that.
I drive everything.
See,
I don't let anything sit.
Yeah, that's interesting because that was one of the things over here is that you can see to yourself. Every car, I would believe every car guy has it. There's an investment side. You're hoping the car goes up in value, or you're buying something. But if you had to say in a nutshell, are you more of a collector or more of a driver?
I would say. I collect drives.
That'll work.
I collect drives. Some cars just get driven more than others naturally, but I like to drive. And if I see a car just sitting there for so long, I feel guilty and I feel bad for that car.
Plus, they need to be driven.
Yeah, to be driven. Like Herbie Lovebug, the car is talking to me, and I'm just ignoring it. Like, baby, Daddy's got to drive you.
Right.
So I like to drive, and so for me, certain cars, every car drives differently. Every single car, and certain people go, why do you have this car just like that car and just like that car? No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. And the drive of the SLR McLaren to the SL Black Series to the SLS Black Series, completely different drives. I have the TDF, the Ferrari TDF F12. That is completely different from anything. The 964 RS is completely different than the 993 RS.
People don't realize how different they are.
Completely. 964 has got to be one of my favorite things to drive. The RS in that car.
Very special.
Oh, my goodness. It makes me smile when I think about it. It just makes me smile.
It's like when a manufacturer just nails it, right?
Just nails it, just perfect.
Yeah, it's like the 73 RS to me. Like that car wasn't. They were not able to do that again, I believe, until the 964 RS.
Yeah.
That's how special that car
But
is.
see, I got to get one of those. I got to get another job.
Have you driven? Yeah, okay.
I've driven, yeah.
Have you driven? We have an opening here.
Oh, good. There we go.
Have you driven one of those?
I've driven one.
I mean, at length?
I actually drove one. No, I drove one for like half an hour 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Well, that's a decent amount of time.
And it was fun. It reminds me a lot of the 964.
It does.
Even more visceral.
Yes,
even more raw.
But what was your feeling when you got out of the car? Truthfully, were you amazed or were you like, this is nice? Because there's a lot of hype.
No.
There's a lot of hype around that car, right?
There was a lot of hype around it, which made me go, okay, how can this car from 1973 really have power, the handling? It's going to be underpowered because I'm used to driving. Even the 964 has, when you look at horsepower numbers, they don't jump out at you, but it's perfectly balanced with that car.
That's right.
And so with this, that's perfectly balanced. And I got in it, I drove it, I got out. And for me, it's like, okay, wow, how's my face?
Yeah, exactly.
And I got out of there and I was like, feel like a goofy kid who just got his first kiss. Didn't know how to act.
You don't know because you don't know how because you can't get it.
Yeah.
When James Barry got out of that car when I let him drive it the first time about a year and a half ago, he was dumbfounded. And he said, "How did they do this?"
Yeah.
And when you look at that car next to the 993, which was the one that came, generation later,
Yeah.
it's only slightly faster and it doesn't feel as enjoyable.
No.
So with all that time that went past, they never were able to do that again. There's something extraordinary about.
But what
that
I
car.
found, even like when you get these high performance cars, these models now, when you hit bumps, like you feel them like in your spine, like everything.
Yeah.
Those cars are high performance cars which handle incredible. But they take bumps. That's what surprised me. You're taking bumps, you're doing anything, and that car feels like it's solid and planted, and you hit the corner, you just feel like you're just, I don't know. It's a special feeling, and if whoever's listening and watching, if you get a chance to ever drive one, don't turn it down.
No way.
Make sure you drive all iterations of the RS.
Well, that's my thing. Like, and you know that. I mean, I'm all about the RSs because I like, the naturally aspirated car for me is the special one because of that power band. There's a friend of mine in California who we debate about this all the time. I said, if I had the roads that you had, if I had, Mulholland Drive, I had the Canyon roads, maybe I would appreciate the turbo a little bit more than I do. But when you drive around here, just to have that linear power band of that naturally aspirated motor, to have the most fun, to me, there's nothing better. So, I get the whole turbo thing, but it depends on where you're driving, no? Depends on what you're using it for.
Yeah.
But you're a turbo guy?
I'm both. Like, I'll be honest with you, I love the RS.
Yeah.
And I'm actually amazed at how fast I feel like I'm going in those cars without it. And it's instant. Like, you hit it, it's instant feedback from the throttle.
Yeah.
The turbo, it's a different thing. It's almost, you hit it and you go, especially the older ones, and you just kind of go, okay, I know she's coming and I hope she doesn't surprise me when she gets here.
Not on the turn.
Not on the turn.
Right. In the
Exactly.
way. Yeah.
You got to be very careful
Yeah, but
with those cars.
that's what people love about the turbo. That turbo lag is part of its character and its charm, right?
Yeah, but I think it's so. I haven't really driven one of the newer turbos outside. Well, I got the GT2 RS. It's kind of eliminated a lot of that because sequential and all the other things, which I guess is a lot safer that way. But a friend of mine said, "What's the difference between driving this and that?" I said, "Well, that one I like it more because it just has a little more danger to it. Like I have to be attention, I have to focus, I can't." Be distracted, and it makes me feel like, okay, now it's time to drive. Not, I'm getting in the car and go get some coffee. And
the way I look at it like that is if you can't bring a car close to its limits, I'm not saying go have a death wish every time you're out, but if you can't bring it close to its limits, what's the purpose?
Yeah.
You got a car that does 200 miles an hour on a track, and you're doing 100 miles an hour on a side street, which you're going to kill somebody, or even on a highway.
Yeah.
It takes so much to get any joy out of it. And again, we bring up Cliff, just another car friend, and he loves his Speedster, right?
Yeah.
The guy talks about a Speedster like it's an F1 race car, but he enjoys that car because of that beautiful sweeping momentum driving, that gear, that big throw in the gears. It's just you're part of the whole experience.
I'll be honest with you. I actually